Hi, everyone. Tony from Hack the Movies here. And today we're going to talk about Saw because it's now, 20 years old?
Yeah, it is.
Wow. Man, we're getting older.
Yeah,
Saw is 20 years old. And we thought for our Halloween episode, let's go back and revisit the original. Yes. Today on Hack the Movies.
Tapes, we're talking about tapes.
Hello, Joey C.
Tony from Hack the Movies. What's happening, man?
I'm just excited. It's Halloween-ish. Well, it's a couple days early.
Well,
but yeah, it's about to be Halloween. I'm very excited. It's always a good time. Like, who better to do this than with my good friend Joey C.
Salute, my friend.
Yes.
Manly men, all right?
What are we up to? 10 movies.
Yep.
20 years and 10 movies. The franchise that just won't die, even though one of them was called The Final Chapter. After the fact. I think it was called Saw 3D when they were promoting it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good time to go back and watch the original. I've had a weird relationship with the Saw movies.
Interesting. How so?
I actually didn't care for them when they were coming out.
What?
I thought this one was meh. And then upon a rewatch at the time, like back then, I liked it less and less.
Wow.
But everyone thought it was like the smartest thing in the world, and the fans were kind of assholes. So I think that made me hate it more. And I thought the sequels were kind of stupid, but everyone thought they were like cleverly written and really intelligent. I'm like, oh, these are kind of dumb. But then a few years back, we reviewed one of the spinoffs. And I'm like, let me go back and watch all these. And now without the hype and everyone praising it, like in a vacuum now,
Yeah,
I'm
okay,
like,
that's fair.
and I'm like, I kind of enjoy these.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sitting there
awesome.
like, I kind of really like these.
Because I think me and you talked about Saw X on the live episode, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
after we did that, I was like, you know what? I got to rewatch the classics.
Yeah.
So that started my journey.
Yeah, I've gone back and I've since like a lot of the issues I have with the first one get fixed in sequels. If anything, the sequels spend a little too much time fixing plot holes and stuff like that. But yeah, they are cheesy. They are very cheesy. They're very of the time. But I enjoy them now.
Yeah, they're
looking
a fun
back
ride.
as an older gentleman.
Oh, of course, yeah, distinguished.
An older 25-year-old gentleman. I was 5 when the first one came out. Looking back, that's my real age. Don't question me. Yeah, I look at them in a different way, and I'm actually really, really enjoying them.
That's awesome, man. That's the manly thing to do, Tony.
Yeah, now let's talk about how they got this thing made. So Lee Wannell and James Wan are the ones who brought us this film. They tried to get this made in like 2001, but they couldn't get funding for it.
Interesting.
Yes.
Tell
So
me
they went to
more.
Los Angeles, and then they shot a low-budget short film based off like part of the script to gain interest. And that
Okay.
ended up working.
Okay.
Yep. They formed Twisted Pictures. Lionsgate put this out. They shot this whole baby in 18 days.
Wow.
And it had some pretty decent names attached to it. You got Danny Glover.
Yep.
Carrie Elways. Dinah Myers in there briefly.
Oh, yep, that's
You got
right.
Shawnee Smith from the Blob remake.
Yes.
I always forget to mention she was in the Blob remake. Yeah, so you got a decent team here, and it's what gave the world James Wan, who I wasn't a big fan of until recently.
Yep.
He's grown on me since then.
Yep.
But yeah, when did you first see Saw?
Well, my older sister is so much older than me, and so she got it on DVD when we first got a DVD player.
Ooh,
Which was I was like, I was like 9, I think, when it came out. And my family left to go like shopping for Christmas, and I was like, now's my chance. I popped that baby in and I was scarred.
Really?
I didn't know what the fuck I was looking at because I was like 10 years old, 9 or 10. And I've watched it periodically over the years, but the first time I watched it stuck with me. It scared me shitless. I don't think I stayed home alone for months after that. Who let a 10-year-old watch this movie?
Meanwhile, I watched it. I'm just like, I thought it'd be better.
I'm
As
like,
14, 5-year-old Tony.
oh yeah, of
yeah.
course. Yeah. Right. It was scary, man. It's so fucking scary, dude. And I was too young to get the twists and everything.
Yeah.
And then like, I rewatched it for the first time like probably 5 years ago, and I was fucking blown away.
Yeah.
Look, maybe I'm just dumb. Maybe I'm a
Still holds
simple-minded
up
boy.
for you. Still holds up for you.
Fuck yeah, it does.
Yeah, it is more fun to watch it without the hype.
Yeah,
So
for
that'd
sure.
be fun. Maybe I'll go back and rewatch the Twilight movies now that there's no hype or hate around them.
Maybe you
They're just
should.
forgotten. Maybe they're secret gems that I didn't know.
I wouldn't bet on that, Tony, at all.
Anyway, let's get into this film.
Let's go.
Saw. I'm hitting the W. Am I hitting the W?
Saw.
No L's in that word. I speak good. Movie opens up on Lee Wannell playing Adam. He's also acting in this film.
Yes. Which I found out about watching it this time. I didn't know he wrote it.
Yeah.
I was pretty impressed.
Not the best actor.
Not with his acting,
but good director.
yeah,
Good
great
good writer and director. He's got that Wolfman movie coming up.
Yep.
I'm excited to see that. He wakes up in a tub, and then we see something in a tub that's glowing blue fall down a drain. He calls for help, and the only other person in there is Dr. Lawrence Gordon, played by Carrie Elways. We find out he's been in there for a while. He's like, stop screaming, no one's coming. But he's able to feel around, and he finds a light switch, and they're in a dirty freaking bathroom.
There's shit everywhere.
There's shit everywhere, and there's just a freaking corpse on the ground. Some guy apparently just blew his brains out on the ground.
Right in the middle of the room.
Right in the middle, not moving at all. Not farting or twitching or anything. They're definitely dead. They're definitely dead.
No convulsions, nothing.
My favorite is like Adam's. They're also chained to pipes.
Yeah.
My favorite is Adam is just like, I've never seen a dead body before. And he's just like, it's not moving. And I wanted like Dr. Lawrence to be like, yeah, dead bodies don't move.
Has he ever been to a fucking funeral
No,
before?
apparently he's never been to a funeral. He's never seen a dead body, but it's just like, wait, what did you think happened to bodies when they died? Look, we've all seen Final Destination. I don't know how true it is, but yes, bodies can like twitch or something afterwards.
That's what I hear.
But, usually they're dead.
They just respawn into the floor.
Yeah, he's just like, I can't believe it. I'm like, they don't dance like young Frankenstein. They sit down and they don't move, and then they shit themselves. Which again, the doctor should have been like, why isn't he evacuating his bowels? He should be dead.
He should have used his brain more. That's a good point, man.
I'm just saying, if that happened to me, I'd be like, where's the puddle of piss and the shit? That's what happens when your body loosens up. Everything gets relaxed. Nothing's holding that stuff in anymore. It's all coming out. If you're gonna pretend to be dead, that's something you gotta think about.
That's right.
Also, your skin like yellows. You gotta think about that too. But anyway, so they find tapes in their pockets. And then Lawrence also finds a key and a bullet in his little envelope that's in his pocket.
Yes.
So they find these tapes and they realize that the corpse is holding a gun, which they can load the bullet in, and a tape recorder, which they can load the tapes in. And actually, funny you mentioned this, I actually have a tape recorder that was mailed to us.
What?
With like a bunch of tapes.
What?
Yeah. I don't know who this is from. Should we play one of them right now?
I think we should.
Let's play it. Maybe it's from someone we know.
Oh.
Hey, Doug here. So I'll admit, when I first saw, I'm a genius, this movie, I didn't like it. I love the premise, but I thought the people were flat, the editing was annoying, Carrie Elways' American accent is like House's American accent, which for some reason people say is good, but I think they've just never heard a British person before. And the twist felt tagged on because everyone was doing a twist after Sixth Sense. But then I saw, I'm a genius again, that the budget was just over $1 million, and that changed a lot for me, because I thought bare minimum this had the budget of a Conjuring movie. The tricks they used I admire more. I kinda love franchises where there's a new one every year for a holiday. And it sounds like it formed its own lore. So yeah, it's not my thing, but I respect it. I see you, Saw. No, that didn't work.
So the tape tells them that to like win the game, one of them has to kill the other, I think?
Yep.
Or at least Lawrence has to kill Adam.
Yeah.
What did it tell Adam to do? Did it also tell Adam to kill Lawrence?
He said isn't that he pointed him to the bag in the toilet?
Yes.
So he had to get the photos. So I'm
Yes.
assuming the entire game was for Lawrence to kill Adam.
Yes.
I don't think Adam even had any choice.
No.
I don't believe so.
We find out in the later movie he had even less of a choice than we thought.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, so he do feel bad. So they see the heart on the toilet, which was like a clue. And then the clue Lawrence has to look for is an X that marks the spot.
Yes.
But so Lawrence tells him to look through the toilet, and he digs through the shit.
Dude, literally the shit. It's so disgusting.
Do you think that's Jigsaw's shit?
It has to be. He definitely took. That's where his bowels went, into the toilet. They're not on his body because he took a shit before he took the fucking.
But then
medicine.
he's like, check under the lid, and it's like, I would have checked that first, to be honest.
Me
Would
too,
have checked
man.
that first.
Ooh.
But yeah, he finds 2 hacksaws, and then he throws the bag in the tub because he sees something else in there, but he's not letting us know. So they try out the hacksaws. Whatchamacallit goes a little too crazy.
Breaks it.
Breaks his hacksaw. Yep. And then you find out what it could be used for. It's like, well, he's fucked.
Yep.
But the doctor realizes, it's like, oh, wait, he wants us to cut through our feet, not the actual chains. And then he just remembers. He's like, oh, wait a minute. I think I know what this is. The guy's like, care to elaborate? Apparently, there's this killer going around. Jigsaw.
Not really a murderer. He never killed anyone.
Like, now he put them in a fucking trap.
Yeah,
it's murder. It's murder. That's one of the problems with Jigsaw. Like, I know in your head you're noble, but like, you're murdering these people.
It's true. Yeah, you're putting them in the trap.
They killed themselves. I don't understand.
That's a pretty good voice.
You know, their adrenaline was running high, and I only gave them 30 seconds to figure out an elaborate plan. How am I a killer? I'm like, because of what you just fucking said, you
yeah,
asshole.
literally.
I'm actually shocked he let the barbed wire guy have like 3 hours. I'm like,
I know,
usually
yeah.
not that generous.
That was the first time I saw that. I thought it was 3 minutes. I'm like, that's fucked. But he was like 3 hours.
I
I'm
hate
like,
when Jigsaw
wow.
does that. It's like, dude, you got to give him more time. How do you not factor in like adrenaline fucking with them?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
like, dude, be reasonable here. Come on. And then when you find out originally what led him to do this and the one guy who sparked it, it's like, a lot of these people aren't as bad as that guy. Can you cut them a break, man?
Seriously.
Anyway, the doctor was a suspect in this case. We get a flashback to Danny Glover, Dinah Meyer, and Ken Luing as Detective Tapp, Kerry, and Stephen Singh. They're at the scene of a jigsaw crime, and it's a man covered in barbed wire. And you will barbed wire,
Barbed
not
wire.
Barbed Wire, the movie starring Pamela Anderson. Barbed wire.
Barbed.
2 things in the 90s. I mean, what? I wasn't in the 90s. I'm a young one. But yeah, 2 things from the 90s fucked me up for life. I will always call barbed wire
Same.
because I remember seeing advertisements for that movie.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I'll always spell Santa Claus with an E on accident because of the Santa Claus movie.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's just, that's it. Forever ruined. Forever ruined me. You have anything like that, Joey C?
The barbed wire one is pretty good because I just kept hearing JR go, oh my God, it's barbed wire. I'm like, barbed wire? Yeah, that makes so much sense.
So the man in the barbed wire is Mike Butters.
Whoa.
Do you know who Mike Butters is?
No.
He's a very big character actor.
Really?
But he is also the guy from the Pepsi Man game, the live action footage they cut to. And a few years back for AVGN, we got to hang out with Mike Butters for the day.
No way. That's Mike Butters?
Yeah, that's Mike
wild.
Butters. And I remember him telling us, because he did a lot of like special effects stuff. He was telling us stuff that he worked on. Like he worked on like the miniature volcano for Dante's Peak. He's one of the dog face aliens from Fifth Element, apparently.
No shit.
So
Pepsi for TV game, man.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So yeah, this was one of a role that he had, and like it worked out for him. He comes back in a few sequels
Yeah, he
because they
does,
flash
yeah.
back to this incident a few times. So yeah, now when I watch, I'm like, oh, that's Mike Butters.
That's
I hung
wild.
out with that guy for that Pepsi Man episode. I'm turning into Pepsi.
I'm turning into Pepsi. Those cans.
So
They're my children.
So Jigsaw was mad that he tried to commit suicide. So he made him crawl through barbed wire to make him appreciate life.
You'll have to cut yourself again. Find the path through the razor wire.
You know, I couldn't ask him like, hey man, what's going on? No, none of that. They just put him in a fucking cage of barbed wire.
Well, when you know his backstory, they showed compassion to that one person. And where did that get them?
Nowhere good. Okay.
Yeah. But also, not everyone is like that, Jigsaw.
That's
You
true.
can maybe take this on a case-by-case basis and not assume everyone is that level of awful. But yes, he takes a piece of flesh from them in a jigsaw pattern. Do we ever see what he does with those
I was
pieces?
just going to ask, what the fuck does he do with them?
I don't know. I guess I'd have to rewatch all of them. Like, yeah, what is it? Do they ever find all the flesh pieces?
I don't know. Put him in a scrapbook somewhere.
That's what I assume.
Yeah, who knows?
But yeah, they find out, I think at a different crime where a guy was like lit on fire.
Oh, yeah, the guy with the broken glass on the
Yeah.
floor.
They don't show too much of that trap.
No, they don't. They literally show him like the fast forward sporadic editing and then like a fire effect.
Yeah, there's like glass. I think he's covered in like oil and
Yeah,
he has,
like
a
a
lighter.
flammable liquid or something. Yeah.
But they realized that Jigsaw was watching from all these traps. So they're like, okay, he likes to have a front row seat, and he left behind a like light pen that belongs to Dr. Lawrence Gordon.
Yeah, see, that always like confused me. Like the guy's in the hospital, right?
Yeah.
For like a brain tumor or whatever.
Well, who? Yeah, what you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm just gonna take this pen here and I'll save that one for later. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Hey, they do
dude?
that. The killers will do that in movies. I don't know about
I
real life.
guess. I mean, he must have had
In
this
real
plan
life,
for a
killers are
while.
kind of dumb. They're like, I'm going to go back to the scene of the crime. It's
I
like,
know.
You probably shouldn't do that, you dumb asshole. Ooh, remember when I killed that guy? I'm going to go visit that place. How about you don't? How about you don't? And like, just
Stay
never go
far
back
away.
there.
That's Killing Tips with Tony and Joey C.
No, you want killing tips? Watch the movie Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Of course.
Which is like a hard movie to watch. Have you
Yep.
ever seen that?
I have, yep.
Dude,
Came
that's
out
a
in, like-
rough movie. I watched that movie for the first time a few years ago, and I'm like, no, this is a really good movie. I can't watch this.
They did
again.
the same with like Dahmer and Gacy and like all
Yeah.
those movies. They made all those terrible like TV movies. They're
Yeah,
so
but
bad.
Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer is good. That when they're watching the tape of them murdering that family is rough. But he's just like, don't kill anyone the same way twice. Don't return to the scene of the
Yeah.
crime. And of course, his accomplice is the idiot.
Yeah,
And it's
it
like,
does
no,
exactly
don't do
that.
that. Oh my god. I mean, I would be there, be like, hey, maybe you just shouldn't kill people.
Yeah, I would say the same.
They're like, no.
Well,
but
that's out of
yes,
the question.
But in movies, serial killers are very smart.
Of course, yeah. Very conniving.
Yeah, so he left the pen there. Although if I was the detectives, I'd be like, well, that's clearly he's trying to frame someone.
Yeah.
Why would he leave his own pen there? Like, let's go talk to him. But the fact that he was a suspect, like, nah, that guy's probably going to be a victim. I feel like this guy's a little too smart to be
Yeah, for
leaving
sure.
pens with his name on it all over the place.
Yeah, because then the detectives show up to the doctor's office
Yeah.
because they want to talk to him, obviously, and he basically is having an affair, as
Yes,
we learn, right?
but before he gets called in,
right.
he's talking to his students.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Including a hot Asian one.
Yeah.
About this patient that they have who has a big tumor in his head. And then Ben from Lost shows up, Michael Emerson as Zeb, the orderly, lets him know it's like his name is John and he's an interesting person. And I was like, what's interesting is the soul patch he decided to rock.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's so
I feel like he was a little too old in 2004 to be rocking that kind of dyed blonde soul patch, but
Yeah.
that's just me. I don't know.
You're
Again,
not old, so you don't know.
I'm not old. I was just a ripe young 5-year-old is what we're saying in this episode. All new listeners are going to be like, well, clearly that guy is 25.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, we hear about this John Kramer guy with the tumor in his head. This is where we find out that Lawrence was being a cool guy.
Yes.
Oh, I mean cheating on his wife.
Oh,
This
yes,
is where
yes,
we
yes,
find
right.
out Lawrence
Of
was
course.
cheating on his wife.
Right.
But yeah, they listen to him. His alibi checks out. I do like when he's talking to his lawyer. He's like, so what were you doing last night? He's like, I was out, but not with the patient.
Yeah, no,
If you
yeah.
get what I mean.
At that point, like if you're being investigated for murder,
Yeah.
right? You, like probably all the ego stuff of like, oh, I'm cheating on my wife should be out the door. Like you're facing murder charges.
Yeah, literally,
man,
if I'm like cheating on my wife, I'm like losing all my money with my wife or jail.
for life.
I mean, those are both pretty bad things.
Dude, they couldn't even get the sentence. What were you doing last night? Before I was like cheating on my wife. I was cheating on my wife. I was not at the murder scene. I was having an affair with a woman. Literally, it couldn't come out fast enough. So where were you on the? I was cheating on my wife. That's it. The guy's like fucking pussyfoot.
Yeah, I know.
Like, dude, just say it.
Just tell him. Just tell him.
Literally.
Bro code. We'll vouch for you.
Exactly. He's not going to tell your wife. You don't want to end up in jail for the rest of your life.
He's just like, by the way, do you also do divorce? Because while we're here,
we're going to need that. It's going to be on the police report.
I'll answer your question, but I need to know, are you a divorce lawyer or do you know a good one? Because that kind of ties into the answer I'm going to give you. So yeah, they make him listen to Amanda's testimony. Again, Shawnee Smith.
Yep.
She is the only Jigsaw victim who survived so far. I do want to know, I didn't look it up. I probably should have. It's been a busy week. I should have looked up like how much of the sequels they had planned.
I can't imagine they had any of them.
But
planned.
I mean, this feels like, not that she's like a huge actress, but why would they show her? I guess to show that you can survive the trap, maybe.
Well, maybe
I guess that's the only
in,
reason she exists in this movie, to let you know, like, yes, these
there
seem
is
unfair,
a possible,
but there is a possible way to
yeah,
escape.
exactly. I think that it was kind of a clue onto what could happen. So are these guys going to get out at the end, sort of thing?
But yeah, she is now in the iconic reverse bear trap mask.
Yep.
Followed by the iconic Billy the Puppet doll. There was a reason for Billy the Puppet. It's in one of the sequels, flashbacks, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember either. They all blend together.
Creepy puppet, just like...
There is only one key to open the device. It's in the stomach of your dead cellmate.
Now, did they design that puppet for the Saw movies? Or is that like, because you know how some, like the Annabelle doll
they
is
designed
like,
it for... I think James Wan has a very unique look of what he wants his creepy puppets.
Okay, that's fair.
Because you look at the real Annabelle and you're like, what?
Yeah, no, it
it's
doesn't
a
look like-
Raggedy
yeah,
Ann
literally.
doll. And then they put Raggedy Ann dolls in those movies. Like, so you theoretically could have used Raggedy Ann.
exactly.
I mean, although no, the Raggedy Ann people are like, wait, you want the doll going around killing people? No, could you not do that?
No, that's true. Yeah,
you can have it on a shelf in the background, but for the love of God, do not have our beloved doll going around killing
Our
people.
beloved doll. I mean, dude, if you haven't been selling dolls in the last 30 years, you probably shouldn't discriminate on who wants to use your dolls.
Yeah, we don't
or
want
not.
kids thinking that there's a goat demon attached to our Raggedy
Yeah,
Ann.
exactly.
So yeah, she talks about her experience. Now, going forward, they do the whole he doesn't kill people, he lets him kill himself. But like, he gets a bunch of people killed in this.
Oh, yeah,
The only way out of this trap is to dig the key and murder the guy and dig the key out of his stomach.
Yeah, because she thinks in the tape, he says that the guy's dead, but we find out he's not dead.
Yes.
So she's a killer.
Now, well, he technically killed because that guy didn't have a choice. Now, did he fail a previous thing and now this is his punishment? Or we find out later that his accomplices were kind of fucking with the games. I don't remember if they specifically say any of them fucked with this one.
None of this one rings a bell.
Yeah.
I don't think if it was any of these ones.
Yeah. So we'll any inconsistencies can now be chalked up to one of his accomplices were fucking around.
Exactly.
And that's why he had to kill them. But yeah, she like digs through his like intestines and stuff to find
like,
the key.
pulls out his stomach pouch.
And again,
Ugh.
Jigsaw, your hands are going to be slippery with the key. Maybe give him like more than 60 seconds to do all this. You don't know how the human brain works.
So you're telling me in 60 seconds when she got up and triggered it, she had enough time to go stabbing in there, find the proper organ. If you asked me to point out a stomach in a pile of macaroni, I'd be like, what the fuck am I looking at? What the fuck am I looking for, dude? I don't know anything about the anatomy of the human body. And she did all that in 60 seconds and got it out just in time.
And the blood didn't like fuck up the key and like her hand was slipping. I'm like, a lot could have went wrong
it
with
gets
this.
caught in her hair.
These are the moments that make me mad with these movies. I'm like, it's not that clever. There's a lot of variables. He didn't. But the movies never like point out that he's hypocritical and he's kind of an asshole. They always treat him like Jesus. I'm
I
like,
know,
no,
yeah,
he kind of sucks. So then we find out the reason she was targeted was because she was a drug addict.
Yep.
Again, knowing what we know later, I understand why he doesn't like them, but there's many different reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
John, maybe figure out why she became a drug addict. You know, maybe something horrible happened in her past. Instead, he's like, no, I know what's going to set her straight. A reverse bear trap that will rip her head off.
Oh, dude, it's fucking brutal.
Now, Joey, I know you have a problem with nicotine, okay?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay. If you don't stop it right now, I'm going to light you on fire. Well, maybe not. Oh, there. I'm going to light you on fire and stab your eyes out so you learn to appreciate life.
All right. I guess so.
Wow, I guess it does work. Good job, Jigsaw. We figured it out. My backup was going to be like, I really care for you and I want you to live a long, happy life.
So I could have did that instead of burning myself and gouging my eyes out.
Well, you know, I wanted to try the Jigsaw.
Yeah, what if Adam and Lawrence just like got the saws, sawed off both their legs, and just walked out of there? Well, I mean, limped out of there, hopped out of there, really. Then game over. Then what?
Well, I think
Right?
the door was locked.
Well, so that would have sucked.
Yeah.
Chopped your foot off for nothing.
Joey, let's take a break to play another one of those tapes.
Okay.
I wonder who this one could be from.
Whoa.
Oh.
This tape is backwards. Yeah.
Again, I was 5 in 2004. I don't know how these things work. Joey, do you show me how to...
There you go.
Now we're going to hit play.
Hey Tony, it's Kaylee from Once Over with Kaylee. You know what I think about Saw? I think that my review of Saw is better than your review of Saw, and also I did it first. You always are copying me. I know, I'm great. I'm the famous Kaylee. But really, if you'd like to know my actual thoughts on Saw, which, spoiler, it's that it's pretty great, you can go check that out on my channel, Once Over with Kaylee.
Inside the back in the future, in the bathroom, they're throwing shit and they find out that there's a camera. There's a two-way mirror and there's a camera watching them. Then we find out that there's someone watching a monitor, and he even waves to them.
He does.
His bad guy's like, I see you. But then he says, I can't help you. So it's like, wait, is this Jigsaw or is this someone else?
And it just shows the hand like it's Dr. Claw from fucking Inspector Gadget. It's
Next
super
time,
cool.
Gadget. Yeah. Next time. Lauren's daughter gets scared at night. This is a flashback. He's talking about the last time he saw his daughter. So she gets scared, and she goes to his wife, played by Monica Potter, from The Last House on the Left remake, and other things.
Yep, which you did an episode on, right?
Yes, I did.
You
I did.
Okay.
So yeah, she's like, goes to the dad, and they're like, come on, your daughter's scared. And I like that the mom is like, your daughter.
Yeah, I
And
know.
That's when you know you're in trouble.
Yeah, big time.
But it's not like our daughter or the name when it's your daughter. I'm like, uh-oh. Okay.
It's like your mom saying your full name.
Oh, God, that's the worst.
Scares me.
Kids who like go by their first name, like that's the thing. So I use the nickname Tony.
Yeah.
But like when Antonio came out,
Yeah,
I was
literally.
in trouble.
That was me with Joseph.
Oh yeah.
When my first name and middle name came out, I was like, oh fuck.
I guess kids with just one regular name get the middle name thrown on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joseph Anthony. Oh god.
Oh God. So yeah, he tells her like, look, there's no scary men in your room. And she's like, can you check the closet perhaps? And he goes, no. Let's do little piggy with your feet, even though you're probably a little too old for this.
Yep.
And then his pager goes off. And he's just like, well, I gotta go to work. And she's like, oh, okay. He leaves and she listens to her parents fight because I guess they know their marriage is on the rocks.
Yep.
No big surprise.
To say the least.
Pour me a drink and I'll tell you some lies. That's a Neil Diamond song. He's like, I have to go. And then she's just like, just leave.
Oh, what did she say? She says something like,
I'd rather you break down and tell me that you hated me. At least there'd be some passion in it.
I wish you would say you hated me. That way it had some passion in it. Like, God damn, man. Jesus.
You know, there's some women out there that are only attracted to negative attention. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's just silly, man. That's just silly. How could you be attracted to toxic masculinity?
No, put your arms down. Put your arms down.
Sorry about that. I was just checking. Yeah, whoa, look at those big muscles, man. Whoa, look at those.
So I did a glute ab 6-week mesocycle. So my arms,
6 weeks?
Mesocycle. You do 6-week workouts.
Whoa. That's crazy.
I do a new 6-week workout every time.
Wow. Your legs are like fucking steel now. You got buns of steel now, dude.
So my arms have been slacking. That's something I gotta really focus on the arms.
It's okay. It's okay.
I felt bad because like Dick Masterson shouted out how cool my arms are. I'm like, oh no, they've gone down since then because I haven't been giving them attention. Put them down.
Sorry.
So back at the bathroom, Lawrence gives Adam his wallet to look at photos. The photo he's mentioning is gone, but Adam kind of hides that there's a photo of his family tied up, and then a thing saying something about the X and turning the lights off.
Yeah, it was like sometimes you see better with your eyes shut or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, back into the flashback. It turns out there was a dude in the closet. If only Dr. Lawrence had fished around a little bit, he might have found that out. He's almost as bad as the dad in Monster Squad who didn't bother to look into the closet.
Look at all.
Which was one of our Halloween episodes a few years back. Wow. So yeah, it turns out the dude in the closet is Zeb. Every time I see him, I'm like, you're a bad guy.
Yeah, he just looks like a bad guy.
So he's holding the family hostage. But then it's revealed that Zeb is being spied on by Danny Glover, who is crazy now.
There's layers to this shit.
We
man.
flashback, very nonlinear. We flash back to Danny Glover drop, and I know his name is Tap, but it's Danny Glover.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
yeah.
We flash back to him dropping Lawrence off. And then we see that he's studying the Amanda tape over and over. So he became obsessed with this case. And he's studying it over and over and over again. And Singh makes fun of him and he's about to go out. But he's like, wait, hold on. They recognize there is graffiti. And then they hear like a siren. So they know
fire alarm, yeah.
Yeah, so they know the graffiti is tied to one place in town, belongs to some gang or something. And they hear the fire alarm, so they like do like a thing where they look up all the fire reports that happened in the weeks leading up to it. And they figure out where he is, where his workstation is. So they go there and they investigate his little dioramas and his traps.
Yeah, very cute.
They find a dude, which I forgot to check, and I think it's a dude who's been popping up in a bunch of my reviews lately. They find a dude trapped in one of these traps. He's like waking up. They also find the puppet in the pig mask.
Yes.
They hear Jigsaw coming. And Danny Glover's like, let's hide and see what he does. And Singh is like, fuck you, what?
Yeah, I know. Covers the guy back up.
Let's cover him up. Let's see what he does. I'm like, just arrest him. You got the drop on him.
Yeah, you got a shotgun, dude.
Yeah,
like,
just
come on, man.
Go to the elevator, and there he is. You're under arrest. Yep. No, bang.
Yeah, no bang.
They're there without a warrant, which could get them in trouble. But
yeah. They probably got bigger fish to fry than that. So.
They're like, we don't need a warrant. Yeah. I'm like,
or any backup.
It's like, yeah, you kind of need a warrant. Yeah. You really need a warrant. If I was the defense attorney, I'd be like, sir, they went into my client without a warrant. Throw this whole case out. They're like, what about the man tied up? No, there was a warrant.
Nope. Yeah, there wasn't a warrant. There you go.
Okay, so this is when I had a problem with the movie.
Yeah, you mentioned that this was the scene that you had a problem with.
It's so stupid.
And I'm so curious.
It's so fucking stupid. So the guy wasn't supposed to be awake.
Yeah.
Jigsaw mentions, I got to use stronger sedative. He was not supposed to be awake right now. So that means Jigsaw is wearing his bad guy robe and putting the fog machine in the elevator just for funsies. He's just walking around like a comic book supervillain with his fog machine and his bad guy robe just for fun.
It gives the whole aesthetic, man. That's what he's trying to go
for. I'm like, who are you doing this for?
Himself.
The fuck are you doing this for?
He's making movies in his warehouse, man. Just real snuff movies, man.
He never actually interacts with people in his robe, really. So he's just
being mysterious.
He's just being a real show-off dude. He really enjoys just dressing like a bad guy and being theatrical.
Just like prancing around.
There's literally fog coming out of the elevator. That means he had a fog machine. And it's like, I want it to look cool when I come out of the elevator. That's what the movie lost me originally. I'm like, oh, come on.
That, now that you mention that, yeah, that's fucking stupid.
So they corner him. They're like, freeze! And he's just like, I'm going to activate this trap. And then I'm just like, well, I thought the point of these were they supposed to make a choice so you don't really murder him. But I guess
you're just straight.
But I guess when your ass is on the line, all the morality goes out the window and you just kill that guy for no reason.
That's right.
That's the thing. This scene makes him real hypocritical. and it contradicts a lot of like his morals and stuff. And it would have been interesting if the sequel showed that he was a hypocrite.
That would be an interesting take, but he also does say, like, you could save me, or you can save the guy, or arrest me. Which one is it?
Yeah, but
I'm
it's like,
is everything you do a fucking choice?
but
here?
like, John, you're killing that guy.
Yeah,
I know
big
you
time.
tried to like justify that you're not a killer. It's kind of like, I really like that moment in the first X-Men movie
Okay.
where Magneto is talking about his plan. He's got the X-Men all like
Yep.
trapped, and he's talking about his plan, and he cares about everyone and a bright future. And then Wolverine goes, he says something that's like, "Oh, if you were really so noble, it would be you and that machine killing yourself
Yeah,
for the betterment.
exactly, yeah.
You're kind of a hypocrite and kind of an asshole." No one ever really calls John out with that.
No, they don't.
It's just like, wait, like he acts like all high and mighty, but when it comes to his own life, he'll break his own rules.
Easily. Quick as fuck, too.
Which he does here. What's the choice he gave Danny Glover when he slit his throat?
Yeah, that's a good point.
He slices his throat, and I guess the choice is, don't arrest me or do arrest me. It's not really the choice. I do like that Singh can't stop the thing with the keys. He's
Yeah.
like, there's a key there. It's like a million keys, so he just shoots it.
Should have did that first, honestly.
They shoot Jigsaw a couple times, and he runs away. But yeah, Danny Glover's just bleeding out of his neck. He's like,
Oh
"Wah."
my god, it's so gross. And they shot him with a shotgun too. You'd think that would like fucking take him out.
I guess
but
from far away, maybe it wasn't.
maybe
as
I don't know
intense.
how that works.
So yeah, they're chasing him, and then he sets up another shotgun trap and kills the guy. What was the choice that guy had to
To
not
run down the hallway or
to
don't
not arrest the bad guy? Are we gonna find out that he was a drug addict, or he watched porn, or he
That's
had
in the next
impure
sequel.
thoughts?
Yeah. That's a fucking sick trap.
Again,
oh my god.
he's really losing a lot of the whole high and mighty stuff here.
Oh,
And
yeah,
it's like,
big
you're
time.
kind of a fucking asshole.
Yeah, that went out the window long ago, man.
Yeah, you're a little selfish, and this is all you just get your rocks off with this. But again, they keep trying to make him look like a misunderstood guy.
a Jesus.
I'm like, no, he sucks.
Yeah, literally.
He sucks.
Ties a bunch of shotguns to the ceiling.
Yeah,
Oh my
what was the
God.
trap there?
Yeah,
he actually does it again. He has booby traps in the second one that
Yeah,
like breaks
he
a guy's
does, yeah.
leg.
Yep.
Again, I'm like, was the cop a bad guy? Unless you're a cop, but I'm just like, was he doing something specific?
Yeah.
He just went to work today. He's like, I gotta arrest a guy. Oh, now I can never use my feet again. Thanks, Jigsaw.
Brutal.
He was like, I was actually gonna donate. I was gonna run in a charity for brain tumors, and you broke my feet. And Jigsaw's like, oh. Yeah, but did you ever cheat on your wife? That guy's fucking dead.
Big dead.
Head is just blown straight off.
Yeah. The effect is pretty bad, but it's okay.
I feel like 2 or 3 years later, based on how popular, we would have seen the whole head explode.
Oh yeah, big time.
However, this was relatively low budget, so
That's what I hear. Although you say low budget, and I looked it up, and it was like $1 million, and I was like, is that considered low budget
for
now?
Hollywood, yes.
For Hollywood, I guess that makes sense.
Yes, that is
but
low budget.
That's still a lot of money.
Yeah. So Back to the Future. Glover's neck is healed, but he's gone crazy with grief over his partner dying.
Yep.
Lawrence turns the lights off because Adam tells him to. He's like, hey, turn the lights off. Maybe something will happen. And he does, and it turns out there's a big X glowing. And they're like, how did we see this before? And he has a good thing. He's like, oh, it was probably glow-in-the-dark paint, and the lights hadn't charged it. So they find the X. They break into it. They find a box that has a cell phone, 2 cigarettes, and a letter from Jigsaw persuading Lawrence to kill Adam. He tells him the cigarettes are safe, but there's more than one way to kill someone. And the reason they opened the box is earlier they found a key that didn't work to any of the chains,
Yes,
and they
that's
realized
right.
the key worked to the box. Lawrence then remembers what happened to him the night before. He got attacked in a parking lot by Pigsaw. I didn't know what else to call him. What is? I know it's Jigsaw.
Jigsaw.
I know it's Jigsaw, but like it's in a pig mask. Pigsaw, I thought would be funny. Well, there's Jigsaw in his supervillain outfit and his fog machine, and then there's Billy the puppet.
Yep.
What do you call the pig? It's got to be Pigsaw, right?
Oh, that's amazing. That's the best fucking name ever. I'm upset that they didn't use that name.
You know what? we got that movie that came out, Scream Walkers, which is Scream with Sleepwalkers.
Yep.
Maybe we can make a movie called Pig Saw.
Oh my God, we can. Oh my God.
Anyway, Pig Saw coming soon. Quick break, Joe. You'll never believe it.
What?
Instead of another tape, there was just a whole other tape recorder with the tape already loaded, so I don't have to load it another time.
Whoa, lucky you.
Wonder what this one says.
I'm in salad and I saw Saw. I've seen Saw 1 through 5, and you can find those reviews at youtube.com/ASCpresents. Does it hold up? The first Saw is by far the best one, and it carries the entire franchise. The killer being in the room the entire time is a really cool twist. However, the sequels exist to address plot holes left by previous Saw films. It's whatever, I guess. But the first Saw, is the best Saw. Is it scary? Gore alone doesn't make a movie scary. Psychologically, it is pretty terrifying. An insane man can decide your fate. He can decide, oh, you're a bad apple. According to his standards, which are insane, if he thinks you're a bad apple, he's going to kidnap you and put you in the games. And you don't really have much of a chance surviving the games unless you sacrifice something. But this is all up to an insane man to decide whether I am fit for the games. I don't like this insane man's logic, and that is scary. But I talk more about what I think about Saw in my reviews, which you can find at youtube.com/ASCpresents.
So Lawrence questions Adam. He's like, how did you know about the lights? He's like, instinct. And he's like, you're a bad actor. And I'm just like, yeah, Lee Wannell isn't a good actor. I'm like, oh, you meant the character. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is doing a bad job of hiding it. So they're kind of grilling each other. And then Adam finally shows him the picture he found with his kids kidnapped and everything. And then Lawrence eventually gets the idea to dip the cigarettes in poison blood because they were told that the body on the floor had poison in his system and the guy killed himself before it like violently killed him. So he dips the cigarette in the poison blood, but he can't bring himself to kill Adam. He's not a murderer.
Yeah, that's right. Seems like a pretty decent guy.
Yet. He's not a murderer yet.
Boy, that's coming.
Spoiler, 6 movies or whatever from now.
Yeah.
They give him a cigarette, and then I think at some point they had turned the lights off and like whispered to each other.
Yeah, that they whispered the plan, and we don't hear what the plan is.
Yes, because even the Zeb on the monitor is frustrated because he can't hear him.
Apparently, there's a deleted scene that explains that.
Oh, okay, go on.
They were supposed to. They used the saws to open the pipes, and they talked to each other through the pipes.
Oh,
and they cut it from the movie, which is a pretty fucking neat scene. Because that would explain how they couldn't hear it. Because if they had microphones in the room.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they screamed it to each other across the room without him hearing it.
Yeah.
So
that is a pretty big plot. Like, how did they do that? It's just, but maybe the mic on the camera just wasn't very good.
Yeah. Well, maybe they just left it open and you just assume that's what happened. But they did film that scene and they cut it from the movie.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he tosses him the cigarette. And then Adam fakes his death.
Dude, this is the worst fucking acting I've ever seen.
I mean, I don't know what it looks like in real life for a guy being poisoned to fall down, so I'd probably do a bad job, but I also don't think I'd do this bad of a job.
I mean, listen, I am a frequent X user, so I often see people dying on my timeline for whatever reason. I don't know why.
What the fuck is your algorithm?
I don't know why
feeding
Twitter
you?
does that. You know those like disturbing videos and shit? And there's one where this guy...
Stop clicking on that.
I didn't click on him. I just looked at it. This guy like swallowed a cyanide pill in court and then just fell over. Spoiler, didn't look anything like what Adam did. It's so like I can't watch it and not laugh.
Yo, let's try it
so
now. Joey, I put poison in your drink.
Oh God.
That was terrible.
Exactly. That's what it looks like.
I could try it. Hold on.
Okay. Tony's dead. Welcome to the Joe Show, baby. I can flex all I want. Look at this. You see this muscle? It's good. It's manly. It's very good stuff. Oh!
I was alive the whole time.
The whole time I wasn't flexing. I swear to God. I was just informing the audience what happened.
You better have not flexed.
I didn't flex. I swear to God.
You know, my 3% female demographic, they come for me. I don't need you stealing more ladies from my audience.
Jeez. I'm just a boy.
Anyway. This doesn't trick Jigsaw, I guess, because suddenly he's electrocuted. And we were wondering, where's the electricity coming from? I don't see wires on anything.
Technology ain't that good nowadays. Or back then, at least.
But yeah, so it shocks him to show that he was fake. And I like that. What's it called? Lawrence is like, that was our whole plan. I'm like, that was a really weak plan.
Weak plan, yeah, exactly. You broke kayfabe, man. How dare you.
But this electricity shocked a memory in Adam's brain. He's
Somehow.
like, I remember how I got here now.
Is that all it takes?
Adam was spying on Lawrence. So he's like a private investigator, I guess. And he's like spying on him. And after developing a bunch of pictures, the lights in his apartment go out. And this is a cool scene where he's using his camera to light up.
Yeah, great scene.
Yeah.
We've seen some nice apartments on the show, like Mrs. Doubtfire,
This is a
for
really
instance.
nice apartment.
But my God, the apartment that Adam is in is a shithole.
Yeah.
It literally looks like there's shit smeared on the wall.
It's big though.
It is big. I'll give him that. In
He
American
has money.
City-
He has money because
Yeah.
he deals with very rich clients, but he's a bit of a slob.
And he has his own dark room.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is
So,
nice.
That is nice.
But yeah, he's like lighting up everything. He finds the puppet, so Jigsaw thought it'd be cute to bring the puppet to this. And I think Pigsaw gets them, right? If I remember right.
Pigsaw, yes. Pigsaw does jump out of the closet in a great shot.
Yes.
Right after the flash goes off, Pigsaw jumps
Yeah.
out. Great.
I thought that was cool. So yeah, Lawrence gets a call from his daughter and wife, and they say Adam's name.
Oh, yeah, you forgot to mention there was a cell phone in the box.
Right. But it only receives calls.
Yes.
And that's what triggered his memory from earlier, because he got like a call or something, and that's when Pigsaw grabbed him.
Yep.
So Adam outs himself. He's like, I've been following you and taking pictures. He's like, didn't you know you got a picture taken of you on the parking lot? But like, we were watching this and I'm like, he left the flash on?
Yeah, what a moron.
How did he think he was going to get away with that? I would know if I'm alone in a parking lot and I see a flash, I'm going to investigate it and be like, did someone just take a photo of me?
Wait, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, so Adam has all the photos in the room with him. They were all developed in the bag that he's been hiding the whole time.
That he threw into the tub.
That he threw into the tub.
Yeah.
But we find out that Dr. Lawrence, because he says, like, what happened in that room? You were in and out of there pretty quick. Found out Dr. Lawrence was sleeping with that hot student of his.
Shame, shame, shame.
This guy can't choose. He's like, my hot wife or my hot student. He's more indecisive than a California OnlyFans girl. So he...
Fucking came out of nowhere, dude.
Ugh.
Oh, manly. Okay. God, we laugh a lot on this show.
We're not allowed to do episodes alone. We need like a third person.
I know,
to
we
keep
need
us
a
in line.
mediator. Something to fucking like keep us on track.
So he ends his affair. But then they get a call. And it's from Zeb, we learn.
Yeah.
Who's just like, I know what you're doing, Dr. Gordon. And he leaves. And then when it's also revealed that Danny Glover is the one who's been paying Adam to spy on Lawrence. Because he has an idea that maybe Lawrence is the one who is Jigsaw.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because they were investigating it. So that
Yeah.
would explain why. Because initially I was confused. I'm like, why is he watching him from across the street?
Yeah.
Right? So that makes sense.
So everyone's kind of melting down and time is running out for all of them. Because, yeah, they're on a timer also. 6 o'clock is when they have to do all this stuff. But, yeah, they missed the time. And Zeb goes to kill Lawrence's family. But he didn't count on What's-Her-Face freeing herself.
Yes. Which she does fairly easily.
Yeah.
So that's an oversight.
Zeb isn't the best.
No.
He isn't the
He's
best.
kind of a dumb henchman.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, they tell she gets out of there. And while one of the things that helps her escape is that Danny Glover breaks in.
Yes. He sees the gun flash from across the street.
Yeah, and he runs all the way over there. They start shooting at each other and fist fighting. Zeb gets away. He's like, well, I fucked up on the killing family thing, but I can still kill Lawrence. He's like, I'm going to kill your husband now, Mrs. Gordon. So he takes off and Danny chases him. Jigsaw shocks Lawrence.
Yeah, he does.
Who's still having a little bit of a breakdown. And then we get the driving scene. The chasing, which is clearly on a sound stage with fog. It's a very low budget way to do it.
It is, yeah. They apparently, from what I read, they filmed it in the garage of the warehouse that they were filming in.
Yeah.
And it was literally just the cars in a dark room with a fog machine.
Yeah. It's effective. I mean,
it's not necessarily effective, but it's decent looking.
It was
enough.
more effective on a 4x3 CRT TV in
That's
2004.
true. Yeah.
When you're watching the Blu-ray on a big screen, you're like, oh, that's definitely in a
kinda good.
soundstage
Yeah, exactly.
compared to everything else.
It's not the worst I've ever seen.
There is some frantic editing in here. There's some unique editing. They have that one weird transition where it's
the car drives in front of
Yeah,
Danny Glover.
yeah.
The first time I saw that, I was like, that is the goofiest fucking thing I've ever
That's-
seen. And it is goofy, but I was like, wow, that's pretty creative.
That's
in a
not the
Hollywood
best
movie.
transition. I think we all know. I think it might be Saw 3 has one of the best transitions ever, but we'll get up to that
Okay,
one.
yeah,
We'll
right.
get to that one at some point. It's one of the funniest scene transitions of all time. Joey, while you were talking, I loaded a tape into the tape player.
Oh, okay.
We should listen to see if someone else sent something in.
T-Bone and friends, how's it hanging? It's A-Double here, aka Adam from the hit channel Adam Does Movies. Just calling in to see how things are going. I heard the topic of conversation over there is Saw, the 2004 hit R-rated film directed by James Wan. I'm sure these are all things you haven't covered yet. Anyway, personal short for opinion. Saw is alright, it's kind of a shit show, but it's one that I enjoy. It's got problems, acting being chief amongst them. Carrie Ulwis, I never know how to say that last name. You know, I've seen him in good things before, Princess Bride, Hot Shots. Here, though, it seems like it's his first time acting. Danny Glover, I can't understand a single word that man says in the film. I know this isn't a movie that's revered for its acting prowess. These movies have made a name for themselves for being gross, having disgusting traps, really kind of mainstreaming torture porn, as the kids called it at the time. I myself am no spring chicken. I was old enough to see this movie in theaters, and I remember thinking to myself, wow, this movie kind of sucks. But then that twist hit at the end, and oh my god, it blew my mind. I was like, wow, this... I did not see this coming. Everything leading up to this is immensely better just because of the ending. And over the years, I've grown fond of this movie. It's got very creative kills, Jigsaw's a cool villain. The idea of putting these terrible people in situations they could possibly get out of, there's something there. There's something special about these films, and that's why they're still making them today. Listen, I don't want to take up any more time than I already have. And I'm sure I don't have to say this, being as I am one of the major fan favorites over at Hack the Movies. Check out the channel Adam Does Movies. Subscribe over here. Much like Tony's channel, Hack the Movies, I'm on the cusp of 100,000 subs. I can get that plaque. I'm right by Tony. Let me check out what his channel's at right now. He's got to be close to 100... Oh. Okay. Yikes. Anyway, thanks for having me on, Tony and fam, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
So the phone is ringing in the bathroom, but Lawrence can't reach it, and he's just giving up. He snaps.
Dude, he does snap.
He cuts that fucking
scares
foot
me.
off.
Oh my
He just cuts
God.
that foot off. And then for the rest of the movie, his one pant leg conveniently gets a lot longer. covers up the foot.
It just looks like they put his foot in like a fucking grocery store black bag.
Yeah, you pointed it out. I'm like, oh, that is noticeable.
It's so bad.
You don't like. You have to like really be looking.
Yeah,
for
you got to
it.
look for it. But by God,
I wouldn't have used so many wide shots.
Again, maybe it would have looked better on a 4x3 TV in standard definition. But by God, when you blow it up to an 80-inch TV, it looks like shit.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like if they wanted to, they can maybe digitally fix it these days.
Sure.
But why not? It's cute.
Whatever.
Leave it. He just snaps. He cuts his leg off. And I was telling you, it reminded me of that scene from Yes Man where Jim Carrey's like, just lop it off.
Yeah.
Zeb kills Danny. They get into a fight and Danny accidentally shoots himself. And then Lawrence shoots Adam.
I know.
Killing him. Zeb opens up the door and he like checks, he like kicks Adam a little bit. And he's like, well, time to kill you, Lawrence. He's like, but I did the thing. He's like, yeah, you were too late.
Out of time.
And he's like, those are the rules. But Adam stops him. He's not dead. He stops Zeb and then just beats him mercilessly.
What did he fake it like he was supposed to do last
Maybe.
time? Yeah, just like
maybe they
shoots
talked
up.
into the pipe.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, they he like just bludgeons what's his face to death.
Oh, with a toilet seat lid.
Yeah, just like bang, bang,
which is
bang.
a great kill.
Yeah,
you
it's
don't
a pretty-
see anything, but which is kind of the low budget nature of it. But honestly, it's really fucking effective.
Yeah,
I mean, the sound effects I pointed out to you are pretty fucking bad, but that's beside the point.
So yeah, Zeb is dead. Zeb's dead, baby.
Zeb's dead, baby.
I know it's Zed in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Fuck you. We find out Lawrence aimed for the shoulder. Lawrence leaves to go get help. He doesn't look like he's going to get far. Turns out he does get far. We find out in later films.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to go get help.
Guy's missing a foot. Like, come on.
And meanwhile, Adam searches Zeb for a key, but instead he finds a tape. And he plays that tape. And it turns out that Zeb was in his own game. He had poison running through his system, and he had to do all this. He had to kill this family to get the. Again, he's not really giving the family a choice there.
No.
Jigsaw. It seems a little inconsistent.
It does.
So yeah, he's fighting against the poison in the system. And while this is happening, one of the biggest surprises in horror history, again, iconic, fucking the corpse gets up off the floor.
Great shot.
Tobin Bell.
So good.
Tobin Bell, who we all know is the record store guy from that one episode of Seinfeld.
Oh,
and
that's
nothing
right.
else. He was also not the cigarette smoking man, but he was the nicotine guy in X-Files who can make cockroaches grow from his cigarette smoke.
Whoa. Wow. Classic.
And he's in other things. Yes, Tobin Bell, who the luckiest casting of all time.
Seriously.
Of all time. Not since Pinhead, when Clive Barker said, do you want to be the guy who moves the mattress or the guy with pins in his head? And he went, you know what? I think I'll be the guy with pins in his head.
Exactly.
Same thing with Tobin Bell. You want to just have like, just do a lot of voiceover work and lay on the floor? And he's like, yeah, sounds great.
Yeah. He cashed in, dude.
20 years later, still doing it. Still doing it.
God, that was lucky. Next time you ask me to film something like, oh, can you clean the floor with the toothbrush while I film it? I'd be like, yep. Yep, I can.
So yeah, Jigsaw was in there the entire time.
What a twist.
He shocks Adam so he doesn't get shot.
Yep.
And he lets him know, like, hey, the key to your chain is in that tub. But, and like, I've read some like theories. It might have been rigged, why it went down the drain.
Well, if you look, his foot is wrapped around the drain cord.
Yeah.
So I think that's where those rumors come from, if you will.
Yeah.
Because when he moves his foot, he's going to lift the drain up and there goes the water.
And there's no stopper. Yeah.
I'm just saying, I've taken a bath before, right? I know how slow that water drains out.
Yeah.
It ain't that fast, right? Unless the key has like a sinker on it, which it might. That's a big possibility. That thing went down fast.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But yeah, some people were like, it probably would have made more sense for him to be walking around the room. Yeah.
I could see that.
I don't know. There's theories about why the key went down the drain if Jigsaw intended for him to use it at some point. Again, we figure out later on that the game was tampered with.
Yes.
So maybe that was part of it. But yeah, he gets up and he talks about appreciating life. We see that he manipulated everything. He got Zeb to do the stuff. He stole the flashlight. And he's doing this because he's dying and wants to appreciate life. And he sees these people who are healthy not appreciating life.
Yeah, how dare they?
So instead of like, writing a self-help book and whatnot, he plays dress up and uses puppets.
With a fog machine.
And and murders people and pretends like he's not.
A shit factory.
Yes, with raw sewage we learned from the entrance. Danger raw sewage.
Yeah. That's where all the shit came from in that shower. Right?
Yeah, but then we got like that famous moment, game over. And
dude, so good.
The credits are good for a bit. We just hear the dude screaming.
Yeah, it's awesome.
He's like, ah! And then they made 9 more movies.
Yeah, they did.
Although 2 of them are technically spin-offs.
Yep.
But then Saw 10 was called Saw X, which includes them, which I'm a little pissed. I got this before Saw X came out. It's the Saw collection, right?
Okay, yep.
Apparently, it's just the John Kramer stuff. It left out Spiral.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Which I get. John Kramer had nothing to do with Spiral.
Yep.
It was a copycat.
Yep.
But if you're going to call Saw 10, then that means Spiral is Saw 9.
It counts.
Saw 9.
Exactly.
So it should be in the box set.
You got ripped off, Tony.
I did.
That's upsetting.
I did. Nice steel case.
It is a nice steel case. I like that.
I got volumes 1 to 8 there.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good box set otherwise. But yeah, I like this movie more and more as I get older, especially knowing what happens in the sequels.
Yeah, the sequels.
And how the sequels
awesome.
play into it. You never really recapture the magic of this one, but there's been some good ones. Saw 2 is fine. Saw X, if you ignore the fact that they aged 20 years.
Yeah. That's a big oversight.
We mentioned in our review, I really wish the director would have came out and been like, I didn't feel like digitally de-aging. Just pretend they're younger.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Pretend they're younger. Just pretend. I'm like, yeah, John Kramer got really old one week and then he went right back.
Yeah. And I can pretend. I can totally do that. That's what I'm doing right now when I'm watching the movies anyhow, right?
I mean, they eventually get really stupid. By the time you get to 3D, you're like,
there are some fucking stinkers in there, man. Let me tell you.
Jigsaw was good. The first spinoff was
I
pretty
did
good.
like Jigsaw.
Spiral was a mess. Did you see Spiral?
I did not see Spiral, no. And I'm kind of afraid to.
Spiral's like okay. The problem with Spiral is like, it's a whodunit.
Yep.
And like, it's just so obvious who's doing it.
Interesting.
You're like, oh, well, it's that guy.
I've heard that from a lot of people, so I feel like I should just watch it just to see if I'm as smart as everyone else.
There's just a moment where I'm like, it's him.
Yeah.
And then you just sit there and you're like, all right, well, fuck. There's not even any convincing red herrings. You're just like,
really?
No, it's that guy. But it's interesting because that movie did well, but it's like, oh, they can make a whole bunch of copycats now. That's one way to do it. Just like, hey, copycat. And I give him credit for that because that's my problem with like Halloween Ends and stuff, where it's like, if you're going to do the copycat, really embrace it.
Yeah.
And Saw is one of those, as long as you have the John Kramer voice, which they've come up with ways that they can like recreate his voice. Like that's all you really need.
Yeah,
You just need
exactly.
to recreate
I agree.
the voice. You don't really need John Kramer there. But yeah, it's surprising they went right back to John Kramer.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But yeah, it was fun revisiting this 20 years later. I have a new appreciation for it. I feel bad that I didn't like it at the time.
Again, I'm still shocked you didn't, man. It holds up just as good for me, man. And that twist, like one of the best twists I've ever seen in a movie.
But again, I kept pointing it out. I'm like, wait, what? How did he do that? That doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense, but I'm just older now. I mean, young.
Yeah, of course. 25,
Slightly less young. And I just don't care about the little details anymore.
So you're like critically thinking it. Meanwhile, I'm like, whoa, man, this movie's really cool, man.
I just wish they would point out that he is hypocritical, but the movies always make you sympathize with him. Like, no, but he's kind of an asshole.
I know. I'm like, I don't want to sympathize with him. Good Lord.
And you know what, Joey? Let's listen to one more. How about that? Wow.
So the original Saw movie is one that I have mixed feelings about. Overall, I enjoy it, but it does have a few drawbacks. So the main conceit, anytime we're with Adam and Dr. Gordon in that bathroom and we're in that what would you do in that situation mentality, could you cut through your own foot to escape those chains? That's all pretty intense. And the pacing of it, at least at the beginning of the movie, is pretty great. Because at first, you don't know what's going on. They just wake up in that bathroom and you don't know why. And I think the movie gives you answers fast enough that it isn't boring, but leaves enough questions open that you're still intrigued the entire time. My only complaint about the particular scenario, when we're in the bathroom with them, is that the orders for Dr. Gordon are you have to kill Adam, I think, by 6 o'clock. And I feel like they never really milk that for any tension. At any point in the movie, you don't know how much time there's remaining until 6, and I don't think there's any point where they actually acknowledge that order out loud. Adam's not like, don't kill me, man, I know it says to kill me, but please don't. And Dr. Gordon never reassures him, like, I'm a doctor, I would never hurt anybody, I'm only going to try and help you. And like I said, you never really know how much time remains until all of a sudden, when the movie's almost over, they go, oh my god, it's 6 o'clock. So I thought that was an odd choice. But overall, the stuff in the bathroom, when we're with them and it's really tense, I love that stuff. But there's the other side of the movie, the Danny Glover side, where it's all this detective work, there's these cheesy flashbacks and twists. A lot of that I found subpar. It felt like it was borrowing from better serial killer movies like Seven, and just isn't as good as them. It feels a lot more generic. I also have to mention the final twist. I feel like it's mostly effective, and they do set it up earlier in the movie. We know that the killer likes to watch, so we should suspect he's around there somewhere. And it's pretty iconic to see what you think is a dead body stand up, remove the makeup, and reveal that's the Jigsaw killer. He's been there the whole time. Of course, it doesn't really stand up to scrutiny if he likes a front row seat. Is laying basically face down on the floor really the best way to watch what's going on? Wouldn't it be easier to just watch through a camera like Zepp is doing? And as a cancer patient who's constantly coughing and struggling to breathe, how uncomfortable must it have been to just lie on the floor that whole time? That really didn't make any sense. But at the moment, when you first see the reveal, at least I wasn't thinking about all that until afterward. So overall, I like the movie. It's obviously not perfect, but those traps and those scenarios, that what would you do in that situation question, makes these movies addictive. And I think that explains a lot of why it got 9 more sequels and another on the way.
Oh, man, this is a fun Halloween episode. I think later this week we're doing a monthly wrap-up.
Yes, we are
We're
indeed.
saying that at the time. At the time of this recording, I don't have the movies picked.
We'll figure that out.
Who knows what will happen between now and then?
Knows?
Will we still be friends at that point?
I don't think anything could come between us, especially a woman, Tony.
Especially Joey Z.
Tony from Acting Movies.
Where can we find you?
You can go to youtube.com/officialjoeyc. I do a lot of fun stuff there. If you ever wanted to examine the quality of restaurants in the wonderful world of video games, if you're a big fan of food like I am, you can check out my videos there. And I have a fun video coming out where I pit Halloween Town versus Phantom of the Megaplex and see which is the better one. The results might surprise you, or not.
All right. Well, one, that all sounds terrible.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch. Stop mentioning DComs on the. We're not doing any other DComs.
Yeah, no DComs here.
I say in the Under Wraps episode, like this is like a one-off thing.
It's never gonna happen.
I'm like, don't recommend Halloween Town. And I said I was going to put it in the block words list, and then I already seen people like, Tony, you should talk about October 31stville. And I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing there. I see what you're doing there.
Dude, your comments are going to be filled with DComs.
People, Phantom of the Megaplex, didn't know what the hell that was.
I texted
people
you.
Are recommending it to me constantly. I'm like, I'm not watching Phantom of the Megaplex.
I texted you and said, have you ever seen Phantom of the Megaplex? And
you're not the only one who did that.
You fucking said, don't make me.
Friggin' Pedro, who's dead, messaged me from beyond the grave to tell me about Phantom of the Megaplex.
You're not missing much. It's fucking horrible.
And I said, Pedro, go back to hell and stay there.
So bad.
Go back to being dead, Pedro. And then Casey and Tim are so excited that the review got good comments. They're like, let's do this. I'm like, no, that was a one-off joke thing. I'm not doing any more DComs.
Dug yourself in a hole with that one, man.
That'd be like doing more all-female episodes.
Oh, yeah.
I got a business to run here, guys.
Boys Month 3.
Boys Month 3,
baby.
Boys
We're doing it.
All those people, they're like, we want an all-female episode. We don't even care about Tony. We only care about what the girls think.
Really?
Yeah, I looked at the audience retention. 2 minutes in, all you guys turn off when you realize it's all girls talking.
In your face, man.
Eat your
words.
The point is never listen to your audience.
That's what I hear. That is what I hear.
I gave them what they wanted.
Yeah, you did.
All-female episode. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm not even in it.
No, 2 minutes in.
2 minutes in, you all turned off.
Yeah.
I thought you guys liked the girls on the show, but I guess you're all liars. Happy Halloween, everyone. Please like, share, and subscribe. We got a bunch of stuff on Patreon recently, a bunch of bonus videos. I'll probably try to get some Halloween commentary tracks out by the time this releases. There's a whole Halloween commentary collection on Patreon.
Wow.
Speaking of Patreon collections, if you go to patreon.com/hackthemovies/shop, I think, you can buy some of our content without having to pledge. I made the Predator commentary tracks an album that you could buy.
Whoa.
The Hellraiser bonus show, Bloodlines, you could buy every episode of that. The Michael Keaton Batman review. So Batman Returns, and The Flash. I piled them all together.
Nice.
Since those are completed. And as I complete different franchises in commentary track form, I will put them as albums. So you don't have to pledge. But if you pledge for $5, you get everything.
Everything.
What
a deal.
It's a steal if you ask me. But some people are like, what if I pledge and I forget to unsubscribe? I can't do this every month. And you just buy the album and call it a day.
That's true.
But yeah, that is all. Goodbye.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.